The envelope sat on my kitchen counter for 3 days before I opened it. I had been sending the same amount every month for 3 years, $800, always on the 15th, through the same wire service in downtown Portland. The money was supposed to go to my father, his medication, his doctors, the treatments for what the neurologist called early-stage cognitive decline. Mom called it, "Your father's little forgetfulness." She smiled when she said it. That smile should have been my first warning, but I was 26, living in a studio apartment in Southeast Portland, working double shifts at a call center. I was exhausted and desperate to believe my family was still the family I remembered, the one where Dad taught me to ride a bike, where Mom made pancakes on Sunday mornings, where my brother Jake and I fought over the remote but always made up before bedtime. I tore open the envelope. It was from Dr. Elena Voss, the neurologist I had found for Dad after Mom's family doctor kept prescribing vitamins. Dr. Voss had run the tests, given us the diagnosis, and now she was writing to me directly. "Dear Maya," the letter began, "I am writing to inform you that your father, Robert Chen, has not kept any of his scheduled appointments with me in the past 18 months. I have attempted to contact your mother, Karen Chen, multiple times, but she has not returned my calls. I am concerned about his condition and felt you should know." I read it 3 times. 18 months. But I had been sending money for his treatment. $800. Every month. For 36 months. $28,800. Where had it gone? I called Mom that night. She answered on the second ring, her voice bright and cheerful. "Maya, honey, I was just thinking about you. How's Portland? Still raining?" "Mom, I got a letter from Dr. Voss. She says Dad hasn't seen her in over a year." Silence. Then, "Oh, that woman. She's so dramatic. Your father didn't like her. We found someone else, a wonderful man in Beaverton." "What's his name?" "Dr. Hendricks." "Mom, I need his number. I want to talk to him about Dad's treatment." "Maya, you're being paranoid. Your father is fine. The new medication is working wonders." I wanted to believe her, but something in her voice was wrong. Too fast. Too bright. Like she was reading from a script. "Mom, I'm coming home this weekend. I want to see Dad." "That's not necessary, honey. He's resting." "I'm coming, Mom." Saturday morning. She hung up without saying goodbye. I took the Greyhound from Portland to Eugene, 6 hours on a bus that smelled like disinfectant. I didn't sleep. I stared out the window and tried to remember the last time I had seen my father smile. It had been at my college graduation 4 years ago. He had hugged me so tight I could feel his ribs. "I'm proud of you, Maya," he had whispered. The house looked the same. Blue paint, overgrown hydrangeas, welcome mat saying, "Home sweet home." I knocked. No answer. I knocked harder. The door opened a crack. Mom's face appeared, pale and pinched. "Maya, you shouldn't have come. I want to see Dad. He's sleeping. Then I'll wait." I pushed past her. The living room was dark, curtains drawn. The air smelled like mildew and something chemical. I walked down the hallway, my heart hammering. Dad was in bed, propped on pillows. Thin. So thin. His cheekbones stuck out beneath papery skin. His breathing was shallow and raspy. A half-empty glass of water sat on the nightstand beside pills I didn't recognize. "Dad?" My voice cracked. His eyes fluttered open. Cloudy. Unfocused. Then recognition flickered. "Maya?" A whisper. Dry and brittle. "Is that my Maya?" I sat on the edge of the bed and took his hand. Ice cold. "I'm here, Dad." He squeezed my fingers. "You came back. I told her you would." "Told who?" "Your mother." His eyes drifted to the doorway, where Mom stood with crossed arms and a mask of fury. "She said you didn't care, but I knew my girl wouldn't forget." I turned to Mom. "What is going on? Where did the money go?" "Almost $30,000, Mom. I sent it for his treatment." Her face changed. The mask slipped, and I saw fear, guilt, something darker. Then it was back. "I used it. she said. For the house, for bills, for things we needed. You used Dad's treatment money for bills? We needed it, Maya. Your father can't work anymore. The disability checks barely cover the mortgage. I had to make choices. You stole from him. I saved this family. Her voice rose to a shriek. While you were off playing independent woman in Portland, I was here drowning. You have no right to judge me. I looked at Dad. His eyes were closed, but a single tear traced down his hollow cheek. I'm taking him with me, I said. Mom laughed. Ugly, like metal scraping metal. You can't. The court appointed me his guardian when his condition worsened. I have full legal authority. You have no rights here, Maya. You're nothing. She stepped closer, whispering. And if you try to take him, I'll tell everyone you abandoned us. I'll tell Jake you stopped sending money because you found a boyfriend. I'll tell the whole town you turned your back on your sick father. Your reputation destroyed. Your brother hating you. Is that what you want? I looked at Dad, then at Mom. Something cracked inside me. Not my heart, but something deeper. The belief that my mother loved me. That family meant safety. Fine, I said. Keep him. But I'm done. Done sending money. Done calling. Done with all of it. I walked out. Didn't look back. Couldn't. If I looked back, I would have crumbled. I didn't go back to Portland. I drove to Seattle instead. Found a job at a small accounting firm in Belltown. Rented a one-bedroom apartment with water stains and a view of a brick wall. Changed my number. Blocked my family. Told myself I was protecting myself. But I couldn't sleep. Every night I saw Dad's face. Heard Mom's voice. You're nothing. And wondered if she was right. 3 months after I left, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. Maya Chen? Yes? Detective Marcus Hale, Eugene Police. I'm calling about your father, Robert Chen. My blood turned to ice. Is he dead? No, ma'am. But we have concerns. A neighbor saw him unattended in the yard, wandering in pajamas in the rain. We did a welfare check, but your mother refused to let us inside. She claimed he was fine, but wouldn't let us see him. We don't have enough for a court order, but... Maya, I was your father's patrol partner 20 years ago. He was a good man. Is there something going on we should know about? I told him everything. The money, the missed appointments, the guardianship, the threats. He listened, then said, Maya, I can't legally remove your father from your mother's care. But if you have evidence of financial exploitation, you can petition the court to terminate her guardianship. It won't be easy. Months. Maybe a year. He doesn't have a year. Then be smart. And careful. Your mother doesn't sound like someone who loses gracefully. He was right. I spent 6 months building a case. Hired Patricia Okonkwo, a lawyer in Seattle who specialized in elder abuse, gathered bank records, medical files, witness statements, saved every penny, eating ramen and walking to work in the rain. Then one Tuesday in November, I made my move. I drove to Eugene, went to the courthouse, filed the petition, presented my evidence. The judge, tired, kind eyes, reviewed everything, then looked at my lawyer. Ms. Okonkwo, do you have a placement prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Sunrise Memory Care Center in Seattle. They have a bed and treatment plan ready. Ms. Chen has secured financing and been approved as successor guardian. Ms. Chen, are you prepared to take full responsibility for your father's care? Yes, Your Honor. He signed the order. 6 months of preparation, 30 seconds to change my father's life. I went to the house with a police escort. Mom opened the door, saw the officers, went white. What is this? Karen Chen, we have a court order terminating your guardianship and transferring it to Maya Chen. Step aside. She didn't step aside. She screamed, clawed at my face, called me names. Officers restrained her, and I walked past into the house, down the hallway to the bedroom where my father lay. Thinner, weaker, but alive. Dad? It's Maya. I'm taking you home. His eyes opened. Clear. For a moment, he was my father again, the man who taught me to ride a bike, who whispered he was proud. Maya, you came back. I never left, Dad. I was just getting ready. That was 4 years ago. Dad has been at Sunrise for 3 years and 6 months. The first year was hard. He didn't recognize me some days. Woke up confused, asking for Mom. I sat with him for hours, holding his hand, showing photos, telling stories. But the treatment worked. Not a cure. There is no cure. But a slowing. New medication, structured environment, daily therapy. Dr. Voss came out of retirement to consult. He's responding better than I expected, she told me last month. He's not the man he was, Maya, but he's still here. Those days are gifts. Last Tuesday, he remembered my birthday, sang to me, off-key, halting, but real. I cried for an hour after the nurses put him to bed. I built a life in Seattle, got promoted, bought a small house in Ballard with a garden where Dad sits on weekends. I have friends, Sarah from work, Tom the neighbor who fixes my faucet. A life. But I never forgot what I left behind. Mom told everyone I disappeared. She just stopped calling, she'd say, eyes filling with practiced tears. Stopped sending money, found a new life and forgot about us. We don't know where she is. Don't know if she's alive. Jake believed her. He was 23 when I left, living at home, working at the auto shop, Mom's golden boy. He left angry voicemails demanding to know why I abandoned Dad. I never called back. Couldn't explain without putting Dad at risk. By the time I had guardianship, the silence was a wall too high to climb. Then, about 6 months after I took Dad, Mom told everyone he had died. Pneumonia, a quick illness, small funeral because of COVID. She showed Jake an urn. His ashes, she said, voice breaking. Your father is gone, and your sister didn't even come to say goodbye. Jake mourned, kept the urn on his shelf, talked to it, hated me for not being there. Then Mom told everyone I was dead too. Car accident in Portland. No body recovered. She's gone, Mom would say. My daughter is gone. People comforted her. This brave widow mourning a lost daughter. She played the part perfectly. I didn't care about the lies. I cared about Dad. As long as he was safe, Mom could tell the world I was an alien abductee. But 4 years is a long time to hold a grudge, and Mom was holding more than a grudge. 8 months ago, the Social Security Administration audited Dad's disability benefits. Mom had been receiving them as his representative payee, a role the court gave her with guardianship. But when the SSA cross-referenced Dad's status and found he was alive and receiving care in Seattle, they launched an investigation. Payments stopped. Mom was ordered to repay over $40,000 she had collected fraudulently after losing guardianship. She was desperate. She hired a private investigator to find me, not because she missed me, because she wanted money, because she was going to sue me for kidnapping Dad, because she needed someone to blame. It was a Saturday morning in late October. Seattle sky the color of wet concrete, rain tapping my kitchen window. I was making coffee. Dad was coming for his weekend visit. When the doorbell rang, I wasn't expecting anyone. I peered through the peephole. A man stood on my porch, tall leather jacket, messy bun, scruffy beard. But I knew those eyes. I had stared into them across the dinner table for 20 years. Jake. My hand froze. 4 years of silence, anger, lies. And now he was here. I opened the door. Jake. He looked at me like I was a ghost. Maya? You found me. Mom hired a PI. Took him 6 months. Flat, mechanical. She wants to talk to you. I have nothing to say to her. She says you owe her money, almost $30,000. She's going to sue you for kidnapping Dad. She says, I don't care what she says, Jake. He flinched. My voice was harder than I intended, sharpened by 4 years of silence. But I was done being afraid. You need to leave. Maya, wait. He held up a hand. I didn't come for Mom. I came because I need to know. Is it true? Did you really just leave? Stop caring about Dad? About any of us? I looked at him. My little brother, who had once cried when I left for college, who had believed our mother's lies because believing was easier than questioning. Something softened inside me. Come in, Jake. There's someone you need to meet. I stepped aside. Jake hesitated, then entered. I led him to the living room. Dad sat in his favorite armchair by the window, blanket over his knees, book in his lap. Wearing the sweater I knitted last Christmas, blue and gray, his favorites. Hair neatly combed, cheeks fuller, eyes clearer. He looked up and smiled. Maya, is that my girl? I was reading about penguins. Did you know penguins mate for life? Jake stopped breathing. His face went pale. Old ash. Snow in shadow. Eyes widened, fixed on Dad with terror mixed with something worse. Recognition of a lie that swallowed 4 years. Dad? A whisper. Is that you? Dad tilted his head. Jake? Little Jake? My boy? Jake's knees buckled. He grabbed the couch, knuckles white. No. Mom said you died. 3.5 years ago. Pneumonia. She showed me an urn. Said your ashes were in it. I kept it on my shelf. I talked to it. He sank onto the couch, sobbing into his hands. I felt no satisfaction, only sadness. The weight of a truth that should never have been hidden. Dad looked confused. Died? I'm not dead. Maya takes care of me. Very good care. I knelt beside Jake, hand on his shoulder. Jake, look at me. He raised his head. Red eyes, wet, desperate. She told me he was dead. Said you abandoned him, stopped sending money, didn't care. She had a funeral. Small one, COVID, she said. She showed me an urn. I kept it. I talked to it, He broke down completely. I sat beside him, arm around his shoulders, feeling his tremors. She lied, Jake. About everything. Why? Face streaked with tears. Why would she do that? I walked to the bookshelf, pulled out a folder, thick, worn, filled with 4 years of papers, bank statements, medical records, court documents, photos, dropped it on the coffee table. Because I took Dad away from her. Because I found out she was using the money I sent for his treatment to pay off credit cards and buy a new car. Because I got the court to terminate her guardianship and moved him to Seattle where she couldn't touch him. Because she couldn't control him anymore. So she erased him. And me. From the family story. Jake opened it with shaking hands. Bank statements showing transfers to Mom's checking, payments to stores and restaurants and a cruise line. Dr. Voss's letter. Court order terminating guardianship. New guardianship naming me. Photos of Dad at sunrise, smiling, holding a birthday cake. She told me you were dead too, he said quietly. First year, you were missing. Then she said you died in a car accident. She had a memorial service. I went. I cried. I mourned you, Maya. I mourned my sister. I blinked back tears. I had cried enough for this family. 4 years of tears in the dark. I'm sorry, Jake. I wanted to tell you. But Mom had guardianship when I left. If I contacted you, she would have used it against me. Said I was unstable, unfit to care for Dad. I couldn't risk it. By the time the legal process was complete, you believed her. Hated me. I didn't know how to fix that. He closed the folder. Looked at Dad, who had gone back to his book, humming. He's really here. Alive. Alive. Safe. Happy. Most days. The disease is still there. Always will be. But he's getting real treatment. Not vitamins and neglect. Jake stood, walked to Dad's chair, knelt in front of him. Dad? It's Jake. Your son. Dad looked up, eyes focusing with effort. Jake. My boy. You got so big. I've missed you, Dad. So much. Dad touched Jake's face, fingers tracing grief and confusion. Don't cry, Jake. Penguins don't cry. They just keep walking. Even in the snow, they keep walking. Jake laughed, broken, wet, and pressed his forehead to Dad's knee. I watched them, father and brother, reunited after 4 years of lies, and felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Fragile, but real. Jake stayed for dinner. Pizza, Dad's favorite, pepperoni with extra cheese. We sat around my kitchen table like a family. Jake asked questions. I answered. I told him about the court battle, the sleepless nights, the moment I walked into Sunrise and saw Dad eating lunch alone, so small and lost that I hid in the bathroom and cried for 20 minutes. I told him about the guilt of leaving him behind, letting Mom poison him against me because protecting Dad mattered more than my name. I thought you hated us, Jake said, picking at crust. Thought you found a new life. Decided we weren't good enough. Mom said you had a boyfriend in Portland, spending Dad's money on him. I didn't have a boyfriend. I had a studio apartment and a job that barely covered rent. Every extra dollar went to Dad's care. I ate ramen for 2 years, Jake. Walked to work in the rain. I didn't do it because I hated you. I did it because I loved Dad more than myself. He was quiet. Then, Mom will find out I came here. The PI will tell her. I know. She'll be furious. I know that too. He looked at me, and for the first time I saw my brother. Not Mom's puppet, not the angry man with hate-filled voicemails, but the boy who climbed into my bed during thunderstorms. What do we do? He asked. I smiled. Small, tired, real. We tell the truth. All of it. To everyone. The truth came out fast. Jake went home. Not to Mom's house, but his apartment across town. Called me that evening, voice tight with rage and relief. I confronted her, Maya. Showed her the photos. Asked why she lied about Dad's death. About yours. What did she say? Denied everything. Said photos were fake. That you brainwashed me. Then cried. Performance of a lifetime. How could you turn against your own mother? And I walked out. Told her I was done. Done with lies, manipulation, being her soldier in a war she made up. I closed my eyes, feeling a weight lift. Jake. I called Aunt Linda, Uncle Ray, Cousin Mike. Told them everything. Sent documents. Aunt Linda cried. Uncle Ray always knew something was off. Cousin Mike wants to drive up this weekend to see Dad. I laughed. Really laughed. The first genuine laugh in 4 years. Serious? Dead serious. Mom's story is falling apart. Relatives talking. Neighbors asking questions. And I posted online. That Dad is alive. That you're alive. That Mom lied. Already shared 2,000 times. I sat down, legs weak. Jake, you didn't have to. Yes, I did. Should have done it 4 years ago. Should have asked questions instead of believing her. Should have trusted you. His voice cracked. I'm sorry, Maya. So sorry. It's okay. It wasn't your fault. She was our mother. We were supposed to trust her. Not anymore. Mom's world collapsed within a week. Aunt Linda, who comforted Mom at my memorial service, called her a disgusting human being and hung up. Uncle Ray, who lent Mom $5,000 for Dad's funeral expenses, demanded it back. Cousin Mike drove to Seattle with his family, and we spent Saturday in my garden, Dad surrounded by family who loved him, laughing at jokes he didn't quite understand. Neighbors talked too. Mrs. Patterson, who brought Mom casseroles during her grief, left a note calling her a sick woman. Mr. Henderson, pallbearer at Dad's empty funeral, posted on Facebook that he felt violated and betrayed. Mom fought back, gave a newspaper interview claiming I kidnapped Dad and brainwashed Jake. But the reporter dug, found court records, Dr. Voss, bank statements. The headline, Local Woman Faked Husband's Death, Drove Away Daughter, Court Documents Reveal. She lost the house. Mortgage payments from Dad's disability checks stopped when the SSA learned she had collected fraudulently after losing guardianship. Bank foreclosed. She moved to a studio apartment, paid for by a part-time grocery store job. I heard she asked Jake for money. He said no. I didn't visit her. Didn't call. Some part of me, the part that remembered Sunday pancakes, wanted to. But forgiveness isn't reconciliation. I could forgive her. Never trust her again. Dad still lives at Sunrise, but spends more weekends with me. Jake moved to Seattle 3 months later. Got a job at a mechanic shop in Ballard, 5 minutes from my house. Dinner every Sunday. Pizza. Always pizza. Dad tells us about penguins, whales, whatever he's reading. Some days he remembers Jake's name. Some days he calls him that nice young man. But he always smiles. That's enough. Last month, Jake and I took Dad to the zoo. He stood at the penguin enclosure for an hour, face pressed to glass, watching birds waddle and dive. They mate for life, you know, he told a stranger's child. Even when it's hard, even when the snow is deep, they just keep walking. I put my arm around Jake. He put his around me. Dad turned, eyes clear and bright in the winter sun, and smiled. The smile I had fought for since I was 26, broke and scared, desperate to believe love was stronger than lies. Family isn't the people who share your blood, Dad told me once, in a rare, lucid moment. Family is the people who stay when the snow gets deep. Mom didn't stay. She chose herself until nothing remained but an empty house and a shelf with an urn full of lies. But Jake stayed. The nurses at Sunrise stayed. Sarah and Tom and Aunt Linda and Uncle Ray and everyone who showed up when I needed them, they stayed. And Dad stayed. Through disease and neglect and years of silence. Because real love doesn't disappear when the money stops. Doesn't die when someone tells a lie. It just keeps walking. Even in the snow. Even when it's hard. It just keeps walking. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. This is the hardest story I've ever told, but also the most important. If someone in your life needs you, really needs you, don't wait. Don't let fear or pride or someone else's lies keep you from showing up. And if you're the one who's been left behind, told you're not enough, made to feel like you don't matter, hear me now. You matter. Your love matters. The people who truly deserve you will never make you beg to be seen. Please like and subscribe if this touched you. Hit the notification bell. And if you have a story of your own, a moment when you chose between silence and truth, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. Until next time, stay strong and keep walking.